Welcome to this week's episode of Biz Success in 15, where top experts share hot tips and strategies that you can implement in as little as 15 minutes to build your dream business. And now here's your host, the Visibility Wiz, Cindy J.
Hi, I'm Cindy J, the Visibility Wiz, and welcome to this episode of Biz Success in 15, where top experts share hot tips and strategies that you can implement in 15 minutes or less. Today, our guest is Kim Julen. She is the founder of Finding Your Fiji. She's a Feng Shui expert and a psychic. Kim is a certified Feng Shui practitioner, IFSG Red Ribbon practitioner and mentor, and certified angel card reader. Angels and homes talk to her, and they always have helpful information to share. In 2017, Kim moved from Minnesota to Maui, sight unseen, to make her dream life a reality. Through her private coaching, Feng Shui consultations, and angel readings, Kim brings harmony to your head, heart, and home. She is passionate about helping you find your Fiji, whatever that might mean for you. Welcome, Kim. It's a pleasure to have you.
Oh, thanks so much, Cindy. I'm super excited to be here with you.
Okay, and to begin with, can you share or describe a personal or business challenge that you had to overcome in order to achieve your level of success?
Yeah, so I really feel like moving to Maui was probably one of the biggest challenges that I ever had, because I literally, just picked up and moved, sold everything I had. And it was really for me about creating a lifestyle. So rather than waiting till I retired to live the life that I wanted to live, I chose to essentially live it now. So I was, and it was challenging because, of course, I'd never been here, didn't know anyone here. I'd connected with a few people, friends of friends that I had met, but didn't know anyone here. And so it was really, and moving that far away, like across an ocean, is different than moving to like the next state over, right? Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So exciting, Kim, and I think it's really cool that you decided to live your lifestyle now versus waiting till you retire, because so many people are in a job that they hate, or they think they have to have a certain success in place before they allow their dreams to come true. And I think just by going after your dreams probably brought more success to you, correct?
It did, actually. And the energy of being on Maui has been really good for my business. It's the veil is thinner here. It's easier for me to do my work. And it has been just magical, really.
Yes, the magical place. And for listeners that may not know what Feng Shui is, can you give a brief definition of it?
Sure. Feng Shui is actually, the words actually mean wind and water. And so it's really about balancing the energy in a space. I like to think of it as creating an environment that energetically supports you and the things that you want to draw into your life, the things that you want to be, do, and have. It helps essentially speed up the law of attraction.
Which everybody's always saying the law of attraction doesn't work for them. So I love that it speeds it up.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And what are the 3 keys to finding your Fiji?
The 3 keys to finding your Fiji, I believe, relate to your head, your heart, and your home. So the head is really about the mental stuff, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of the thoughts running through our head are not necessarily helpful to us. So that's a really big piece, is to look at what we are ingesting and the things that we are taking in and the thoughts that are running through our heads. So that's sort of the first piece. And then the heart connection, I believe, is the connection to your higher wisdom, whatever that might be for you. Some people it's God, it's spirit, it's universe, whatever that might be. It's that connection to a higher power, higher wisdom, and to that higher version of yourself, or that version of yourself that has all the answers. So that's really that heart connection. And I also feel like, for me, because I have a really strong connection with angels, that's sort of that angel connection as well. Anyone that can be helpful to us, right, is always good to tap into. And then the home, of course, is your environment, and that is the feng shui piece. And the environment is, a really key important factor. And I think a lot of people don't realize how much their environment actually is impacting them. So when I work with people, lots of times they're like, wow, what you told me just makes complete sense. And I don't know why I didn't think of it before, or like didn't recognize it.
So, because we're talking about feng shui and our business, can you share a few ways how a person can gain clarity and focus within their business?
Yeah. So in business, as in life, clutter is a problem. So if we have a lot of clutter in our physical spaces, and particularly on our desk, it is going to cloud our vision, and it is going to cause us to lose focus. So we all know how it feels when we have piles and piles and piles of things around us, that it's just hard to really concentrate. And it's an energy thing. So that's one of the recommendations that I make is take a look at the horizontal surfaces in your office and clear them. So take the time to clear them. So that might mean, having a filing cabinet where you can file things. It might be having like an upright, a vertical way to store things that you need quick access to, or things that you need to be able to see. But in any event, cleaning your desk off at the end of the day is really going to help you have a fresh start the next day. So even if you can get like a nice pretty box or something like that to put everything in at the end of the day, and then in the morning you can pull that box out and then take the things out again with fresh eyes. So that's really going to be one thing that can help you with clarity. Another thing that I always think about with clarity also is, this is actually a little adjustment. I didn't realize I was going to share this with you guys, but what's coming in is it's an adjustment where you use just little 1-inch round mirrors. And essentially what you do is you place them in the doorway, and it will be at your eyebrow level. So at this level, one on each side of the doorway. So the door, they're little thin mirrors. You can get them at any craft store, and they're round. And basically what that does is it gives you an energetic car wash when you come in and out of your office. So it basically refreshes your mind and your mental clarity both in and out. And it's helpful too for people that have, I've noticed this for people like psychologists in particular, counselors. It's helpful for them as people are coming in and out of their office to kind of clean their energy as they come in and out as well. And it also helps us let go of our day. When we leave our office, then at the end of the day, then we can leave those thoughts and worries or concerns about our business behind.
Very, very interesting. Now, what about, especially a lot of home coaches, they have their offices like in their bedroom or in their kitchen. So are there any tips for the people that have them there as far as leaving the office at the office and separating the home?
Yes. Yeah, that's such a great question because, ideally we would like to have a separate space for our office, right? And that is, ideally we would like a separate office. I personally don't have that now because I'm in a smaller space. I used to in my home in Minnesota, but I don't now. And I have a little backdrop here because this room doubles as a guest room. And so I do have a bed in this space, which is not ideal feng shui wise. But what we want to make sure is that, number one, that you have a dedicated workspace. So it's not a dining room table, not a kitchen table, because that is also confusing the energy. Our dining room table and our kitchen table are meant to be for eating, right? And that can actually, working on those spaces can actually cause issues with digestion and all kinds of different things. So we want to have a dedicated space. Now, that's not to say, like, if your dining room area is your dedicated office, and you have a kitchen table in the kitchen, you can definitely use that and then just transform the space and that's your office, right? So we definitely want a dedicated space for sure. If we can be facing the door, that is the most ideal positioning. And I'll just kind of show for those on video, are able to see the positive ways to place your desk. So we really want to be in command of the space. And be in command means facing the door, but not in the doorway. And we want to be as far as possible from the door as we can. So you can see in these 3 different scenarios, we have the desk that is in command. It's far from the door and they can actually see the door. They've got a solid wall behind them. So that's the other piece, is we really like to have a solid wall behind us because that's about support. You have a great high back chair. Awesome job, Cindy, because that is another piece. We like to have support in our business, and the high back chair gives us that. We want to be the executive of our business. We don't want to be sitting on a Bosu ball. That does not send the right message to the universe about how serious we are about our business.
Interesting. I thought you was going to say that about the door, because my door, I can turn and see it, but I'm not facing it. So I guess that's the wrong way, because I have to look to see it.
Yeah, if you are able to move your desk around so that you can face the door, that would be ideal. If not, place a mirror strategically so that will allow you to see the door.
Oh, okay. And do that. I have a window in front of me. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I face the Sierra Mountains.
Okay.
And so whenever I look out at the Sierra Mountains, the Sierra Nevadas, they calm me. So that's why I took it this way, because I could just turn to see who is at the door, but I'm not facing it. So I can put a mirror right there to show.
Put a mirror there. Yeah, I would put a mirror there. And I know a lot of people, and I actually tried that in my old home, tried to sit facing a window. And I couldn't do it. Your thoughts can sometimes tend to go out to the window when you're in that positioning, where and again, it may cause more difficulty focusing because you are facing that window, right? Yeah. Even though it's a gorgeous view, if you can get the view like just to your side, where when you want to look, or if you're just sitting talking on the phone, you could turn and look, that would be better.
Yeah. I just might change my desk around. Okay.
Yeah, right.
I know there's different things that I have changed. Like I used to have my elliptical in my bedroom, and then I heard, hey, that's the worst thing to have your exercise in your bedroom.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting how these different little things can make such a huge difference.
Yes.
So thank you for showing us where to place our desk for success. And even like you have the, sort of going back to the home, you have the boundary, you have the screen behind you. So I would think if you are in a bedroom or in a dining room or den or even your living room, if you have that screen, that's still protecting your space where you can have the designated space for your business.
Yes, that is a beautiful point, because having some way, and particularly if you have like the bedroom where you sleep, or if you have like a studio apartment, to be able to block off the view to your quote unquote office or your workspace while you're sleeping is really important. So I love the idea of these screens. These screens are awesome. I mean, this one just happens to be tropical because it fits with my theme and all of that, but you can get them so easily, lots of different places. And it really does help, essentially contain that energy too.
Right. Absolutely love it. And so whenever they're working from home, they want to energetically attract more clients and income, what are some tips to energetically attract more clients and income?
Yeah. So one of the things that you see oftentimes in like Chinese restaurants is they'll have a bell over the door. And the bells actually are really good energy. I love to use little brass bells for this. And you can just hang it on your office door, whether anybody ever actually comes to your home office or not. Or if you have an actual commercial space, then hang it on the exterior door. And essentially what that does is the energy of the bell brings in business. It's kind of ringing in that business. It's good, positive energy. And so it brings in, essentially brings in good vibes. It's also for protection. So bells are really good for protection. I actually use them when I travel. I have a bell that, because I can't, typically I will sage a space to clear it energetically, but can't do that in a hotel room. So I bring a bell and basically just go through the room with a bell and clear the space. And then I hang that bell on the door to the hotel room. And that way, if somebody were to come in, I would hear them. It's kind of it's an energetic protection type of thing. And I tell you what, I always sleep better when I do that. Because, you're in a different bed, something that you're not used to. And I always sleep better just knowing that energetic protection is there.
So you just like you have the bell, hang it over the doorknob. That's what you
Yeah.
do?
Yeah. And I love to do, so one thing that I do to kind of juice up the energy of that bell is I will hang it from a red ribbon. And I cut the ribbon in 9-inch, in a 9-inch length. You can do it in any multiple of 9, really, but 9 inches is plenty long usually to slide over a door handle. And the 9 represents reaching new heights. It's the last number before they repeat again. So it's about reaching new heights. And then the red is a very lucky color. So both of those things really help kind of boost the energy of that.
Mm-hmm. And so talking about colors, are there any specific colors somebody should have in their office environment to attract more income and for just having the better energy?
That's a really interesting question. So that brings up something that I want to share with people is the Feng Shui Bagua. So this is basically the mental map of our spaces, and this can be laid on a single room or on your desk or on a space like an entire home. And this is available on my website as well, so people will be able to grab that. The bottom line is where the door would be. So the front door, the door to your office, or where you're sitting at your desk, that would be where that would be. And there's different colors that relate to the different areas. So if you're wanting to boost your wealth, you can see the wealth color is purple. And so the wealth energy, if you want to boost wealth and abundance, you can add the color purple. And sometimes I'll do that. You could, I guess, paint the whole room purple. I don't do that very often or recommend that very often unless people really love that color. I did have a bathroom once in my wealth corner, and in order to alleviate that, I did paint that bathroom purple, just like a pale lilac color type of thing. But yeah, so that the different colors correlate to different areas. So if you're wanting to boost the health, you would add yellow. If you're wanting to boost your fame and reputation, you'd add red. If you want to boost your partnership, you could add pink. So there's definitely a correlation that way with colors. One thing that I love to see in offices, if you're able to keep them alive, are living plants. Because that is, and even the silk plants are great as long as they look real and they're kept neatly. We like to have plants that grow up though, because plants that grow up are about your income rising. So we don't want to have a plant that's like, growing downwards, right? We want one that's going up.
Mm-hmm. I know, but you can probably tell that's a silk plant back there. I've thought often about using just buying fresh flowers and changing them out each week.
Oh, I love that idea.
Yeah,
I love that.
I thought about that simply because I like the flower, the plants back there, but I was like, every time I see it myself, I'm like, I need something else back there. So something like that too, because it's live and it brings in more freshness, right?
Yes, exactly. Jade plants are a great feng shui plant, a money plant. So that might be a possibility, or, even the little, not the lilacs, but I can't remember what the other plant is called. I'm drawing a blank on that. Where they have little flowers, like little purple flowers or pink flowers or that type of thing. That would be a great plant as well. A violet. I think that's what that's called. Violet plant?
Right.
Yeah.
That would be purple. Yeah. Violets are purple. So
yeah. And that would be, again,
with the purple.
Exactly. Double duty.
So even with your environment at home, it's really having something fresh and alive around you as well as, something that's bright. I mean, even though you have the screen back there, you have this bright screen. It's just not a plain wooden flat. I've seen there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, to me, whenever I first seen that, I'm like, hey, she's bringing Hawaii into her office.
Exactly. Yeah. And it really is, when I looked at some of the screens, the other thing that bothers me about a lot of the screens is they have kind of a crisscross pattern, which is actually cutting energy. If that's behind you when you're doing, something like this, it's kind of that cutting energy. So that was the other thing. I'm like, oh, what can I do instead? And then I had the idea for the tropical.
That's interesting because, a lot of them do have the crisscrosses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
too. The squares, I would think, do the same thing.
Same thing. Yeah. And they're cutting you both directions. So they're cutting you this way and the other direction as well. So you're getting like double cut.
Very, very interesting. So let me see, plants. How about, because I know with the Feng Shui, it talks about the fire, earth, air, and water. So how does somebody incorporate these 4 things into their office?
Yeah, there's actually 5 elements for Feng Shui. So I know the elements come in different ways for different things. So we actually have the fire, the wood, the earth, metal, and water. So those are our 5. We don't have the air. It's I think the energy of that is more the metal energy or the water energy, but it really is about balance. So balancing the energy in the space. So these elements can be represented by different things. Obviously they can be represented by the physical. So fire being like a candle, right? Of something with a flame, or fire can also be represented by the color red or something that is triangular in shape. And then the wood energy would be something that's green, or actual wood like plants, or something that's actually made out of wood. It would also constitute the wood, or things that are long and columnar, kind of like a tree trunk. If you think of that, like the tree trunk behind me, that would be like a wood energy. And then the earth energy is the color yellow, or things that are square, or things that are made from earth, like ceramics or, crystal stones, that type of thing. And then the water element is actually things that are blue or navy blue or black, or things that are undulating shapes. So kind of that flowy shape. So you could have like a flowy curtain that could represent that water element, or something that's physically water, like a little sailboat, or, a fish tank or something like that would be physically water. And then the last thing is metal. And actually metal is probably the most important one, I think, for focus and clarity. It kind of coming back around to that question is the metal energy helps us. If you think of like the old comedy show, Frasier Crane and Lilith. Lilith was very much a metal personality. She had her hair in that like tight bun, and like everything had to be like just so. That's like an extreme of metal energy, but it really is, that's the thing that helps us get organized. And so metal can be represented in your office by things that are physically metal, of course, but also things that are white. So I actually chose a white desk, which is kind of unusual, but I chose a white desk because I know that's one of the things that I need is more of that ability to focus. Or it can be things that are round or have an arc to them. So those are kind of a very quick overview of all the different elements and how you can incorporate them into your space.
Very, very interesting. I'd heard before, it's one of the reasons I love waterfalls anyway, but I'd heard like, I have my waterfall like sort of flowing towards me. So that's a thing as well, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I love waterfalls. Waterfalls are definitely beautiful, positive energy. And then you do have like the tree in that as well. So that's, the wood energy. You've got kind of the earthy colors. So that picture is great.
I'm lacking metal. So
there you go. So you need things that are round or things that are white. Right. Yeah. Or physically metal, right?
So I have to check that one out. And next, I could talk to you all day about this, but unfortunately, time doesn't permit. So moving on, can you share a strategy with our listeners that they can implement in 15 minutes or less to grow their business?
Yeah, so this is a fun Feng Shui adjustment, and it is really what I like to call a Hansel and Gretel approach to attracting more business, more clients. And essentially what you do is you get some birdseed, and I recommend the non-sprouting kind, so it's not going to sprout along the path. So get the non-sprouting birdseed. You probably even have some of this around your home. And what you'll do is you will sprinkle it from the door to your office if you are in a physical commercial office space, or the door to your home if you're in a home business. And you'll basically sprinkle it from the front door or the door to the space to the street and back again. And while you're doing this, you're visualizing your ideal clients, the clients that you want to come to you. If you have some clients right now that you work with that you absolutely love, I would actually picture those people, right? And visualize those people as you're sprinkling the birdseed to the street and back again. This is also really useful and helpful if people have trouble finding your location. So if you have a physical location and people come to see you and they're always getting lost. I had a client that was her situation. Building was kind of like back behind some things and whatever. She did the birdseed adjustment. People stopped getting lost. So energetically, they were able to find her. And this works whether people physically come to your space or not, because people don't come to my home. I do everything remotely. And so it works whether you have people come or not. And you can do it more than once. So I have a client, she's an animal communicator, and she does this on a regular basis. So whenever things start to get slow, she's like, oh, I'm doing the birdseed. And then she has like 5 more appointments the next week. So it really works. I would caution people, don't do it before you're going on vacation, because that, you're getting ready to go. You don't want to be having a bunch of new clients coming in at that time, but it really does work, and it works quickly.
So you sprinkle it from your front door to the street, you said, or to
yes, and back again.
All the way to the street.
To the street and all the way back again. Mm-hmm.
And I was laughing because a lot of our listeners may know sometimes you can hear our bird. My husband has a cockatoo, and so I was laughing because my husband has been trying all these different types of seeds with her. So I have like this abundance of birdseed sitting in my other room that our bird won't eat.
Oh, that's awesome. So perfect. So you already have it.
All the birds in one. Yeah,
nice.
So that's why I started laughing when you were saying bird feed.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's sort of where my mind went, was all of this bird feed that he's been buying, trying to get the most nutritious, healthy one that she'll eat. But she's a picky eater. She wants what she's been used to. And so
it's funny. That's funny. That must be why I was guided to give that particular adjustment in this podcast, right?
Right. And I know, Kim, that you have a wonderful gift for our community. So can you share what it is?
I do. It's my 9 fast Feng Shui fixes for attracting abundance. So it's my best tips for bringing more abundance into your life.
Very, very good. And we can all use that, especially in the business. And I mean, I think you've already given some great tips that are really simple and easy. And I know I've read even different people. I forget who it was. I think it was somebody big. I don't know if it was Brian Tracy or Tony Robbins, but it was somebody that said, hey, if moving my desk is going to bring in more income and a better life, why not do it?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Try. To our listeners, you want to head on over to bizsuccessin15.com/Kim, Kim, all lower letters, and grab your copy of the 9 fast Feng Shui fixes to attract abundance. And, wouldn't it be great just to have an overflowing abundance of clients? And a lot of these Feng Shui tips are really going to help you. So as I said before, why not try it? It's an easy fix anybody can do. And while you're at the bizsuccessin15.com/Kim, you can also re-listen to her words of wisdom, catch any of her golden nuggets that you might have missed, and you can download it and be sure to share it with your friends too. And Kim, do you have any parting words for our listeners?
Yes, I would say just be aware of your environment and be in a space of looking at your environment with fresh eyes, as if it were the first time that you were seeing it. It will help you see things differently than you have up until this point.
I love it. Thank you very much. And thank you for being my guest today, Kim. It's truly been a pleasure.
Yes, you too, Cindy. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, truly our pleasure, and you're very welcome. So to our listeners, be sure to share today's episode with your friends, because we all need Feng Shui in our life, and we can all use more abundance. And, we all need to find our Fiji. Hop on over to bizsuccessin15.com/Kim. You'll find any links mentioned on today's show. You can download today's show and re-listen to any past episodes that you might have missed. And while you're there, be sure to grab Kim's 9 fast Feng Shui fixes to attract abundance. Big hugs. Be sure to tune in next week to another episode of Biz Success in 15. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Biz Success in 15. For all links mentioned in today's show and to watch or listen to previous episodes, visit bizsuccessin15.com. Thanks so much for listening, and be sure to tune in next week for another amazing guest.